Hello, vinyl community. Dave the Pickup Artist with you for another round of Psychedelic Sunday, where the cost of one admission is your mind. And this week,
we got us some good ones.
I got a new pickup. I finally picked up Outrageous by Kim Fowley. This is Kim's third album, 1968, I believe.
I'm ugly. Dirty, filthy, sneaky, horrible. Yeah. I'm gonna kill you. Are you straight? Well, I'm animal man. Wow. Yeah.
Now, prior to him putting out albums, he had been putting out singles, producing, and making novelty songs and jingles. Alley Oop, for instance, and he had been working since the late 50s.
So much fun, let's just be, life has just begun. Bubblegum, yeah, whoa, yeah.
Don't sit there stoned. Tell me, are the cops here? To all of our problems. All of our problems are purely musical ones. All our problems are purely musical ones. If you want to know the answer to your problems, tune up your radio a little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit high. Higher, 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 higher.
Lars Bonfire on guitar and Jimmy Greenspoon on keyboard. Also like to find the single called The Trip that he did put out in 1965, was on the first Nuggets box set, and it's featured in a lot of psychedelic exploitation albums and comps, including this one that I recently showed. This has The Trip on it. I think Kim Fowley may even play on this album or do something. He does something on this album, but
we got us a big barbecue to start things off tonight.
59 years ago, we had the Monterey Pop Festival. Criterion just put out their a new edition of the film, which I just recently ordered and looking forward to picking that up.
Something happened here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Come on, nigga. There's a man with a gun nowhere telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
So, the Friday night opener was the Association, who were riding high on the Inside Out. They had a couple of singles under their belt, and they opened the show Friday night. Also, Friday night, we had Johnny Rivers, who was also the basically, he was a producer, co-producer of the event, and he was very busy around this time. Johnny had just put out 2 albums, rewind and realization. Fuck you, Wolfie baby. This one, Rewind, had his great Motown hits that he covered. And if you see this picture right here, that's with the Fifth Dimension. In addition to these two albums, he was also producing the Fifth Dimension's Grammy-winning Up and Away album. Pictures of him on the back cover. So yeah, he was really busy. Unfortunately, I heard his set wasn't that great. I heard somebody say he was trying to be like Elvis. He had a lot of us played. Yeah, Johnny Rivers. And the another Friday night performer was Eric Burden, who brought his revamped version of The Animals. They had morphed from a R&B band into a psychedelic band. He had moved to San Francisco and he had such a good time that he wrote a song called Monterey. It's kind of an anthem. Great song that was added to this album.
The birds and the airplane did fly. Oh, lavish Shanta's music made me cry. The hoop exploded into violent light. Hugh Massagala's music was black as night. The Grateful Dead, the Women Body Man, Jimi Hendrix, baby, believe me, set the world on fire. Yeah.
Friday night part of the event ended with the main act, Simon and Garfunkel, who were back and forth from New York, where they were recording the masterpiece Bookends.
The darkness got excited, just the crowd and they whined. The atmosphere of freaky holiday. The spotlight hit the bar, and the crowd began to cheer. He flew away.
而且父亲日的日
Down by the riverside, it's bound to be a better ride than what you got planned. Carry your cup in your hand and look around. He's around now, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hang on to your hopes, my friend.
And they took time out from recording this album to attend the festival. I mentioned Elvis earlier. On a personal note, I had a great uncle that was an Elvis impersonator. Unfortunately, there was a lot of demand for that back in the 1930s. So on the weekend, each day was split into 2 sets, an afternoon set and an evening set. So Saturday afternoon, the first band to open up was Canned Heat. They did a 3 song set according to my notes, and they didn't really get a great reaction from the crowd. The next band was a band called Big Brother and the Holding Company, which most people had never heard of. They'd never heard Janis Joplin or Big Brother. And one of them that had never heard of them was D.A. Pennebaker, the director. So he decided not to film the band, which was a big mistake because the audience was blown away by Janis Joplin. And what they did was they invited the band back the next day. So they played, the only band to play Saturday and Sunday. Following that, we had Country Joe and the Fish. They did a fun set. Al Cooper came out, the great keyboard player, producer, all-around musician. He did 2 tracks, followed by Butterfield Blues Band, who did 8 tracks. And apparently that set list is incomplete. Next on the roster was Quicksilver Messenger Service. Then we had Steve Miller Band, who came out and did 3 tracks, including Mercury Blues, which is a great track, and followed by The Electric Flag. Get Saturday evening. The first up is Moby Grape, who did a 7-song set. Hugh Masekela was next. The Byrds. Now everybody heard the Byrds. The Byrds came on and did a 8-track set. And they actually invited Hugh Masekela up for the song So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. Hugh, of course, was the one that had that great trumpet solo on the song. And that was cool, but the Byrds set was mired in David Crosby acting the fool, commenting after each song and coming up with the crazy conspiracy theories. It kind of ruined their set. But next up we had Laura Nero, who was like a teenage songwriting prodigy. And next we had the great Jefferson Airplane, who were introduced by Jerry Garcia. But one of the tracks they did was a new track called The Ballad of You and Me and Po Neal. At the time of the concert, they were working on their follow-up to Pillow, After Bathing at Baxter's, and they were given a lot of creative leeway.
Your head is feeling fine. You can ride inside our car. I will give you caps of blue and silver sunlight for your hair. All that so will be. It's fantastic. Keep up on I don't understand.
But this is where Jefferson Airplane were at when they played the festival, and apparently their set was amazing.
It's fantastic.
After that, we had Booker T and the MGs, and they did great versions of Hip Hugger and Green Onions. And then we had the night closer, which was Otis Redding, who was very well received. He was one of the highlights of the festival.
That of introducing the next group, who are my favorites, because of long-standing friendships with individuals, as well as I like the music. I'd like you to welcome now, with a great big fat round of applause, my favorite group, the Buffalo Springfield.
So on Sunday, they brought out all the heavy hitters. The Buffalo Springfield took the stage, and they were introduced by Peter Tork from the Monkees. It was rumored that the Monkees were going to appear at the festival, but that fell through. Although two of them did end up at the show. Tork and Mickey Dolenz was also there, but he was in the crowd. They were promoting their second album. Still flying high on their first album, but they were out promoting their second.
Annoyance strikes into your life, it will be songs when you're always afraid. The man come on and take you away. You want to stop? Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
And I think this maybe a little bit better than their first album. But they were great. We had The Who, Hendrix. The closer of the show was the Mamas and the Papas. Now, I would not have made them close the show. I think they should have opened up one of either the evening set or the afternoon set, because you can't follow like The Who and Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it was kind of a bring down a little bit. So I would have closed the show with Hendrix or The Who. But today, 59, or this week, 59 years ago. And finally, I was lucky enough to get to interview Pete Townsend and Roger Adultery from The Who, and I asked them about the festival, and I also asked them what it was like to be on the same bill, same night with Jimi Hendrix. Take care. Your feelings on Monterey.
Monterey was a big one for us. I mean, before we even got to Monterey was built up in my imagination as an enormous event.
So what was it like playing on the same night with Jimmy?
When we went to play Monterey, you know, Hendrix was doing the show at the same time, and we'd already been, you know, exposed to what I felt was very, very unfair competition with Hendrix in the UK because of our relationship.
Your thoughts on some of the other players?
The best jam session I've ever heard in my life happened on the stage, underneath the stage, because the dressing room was under the stage.
Oh, wow.
And there was Jimi Hendrix, Brian Jones of the Stones, Pete, who else? George Harrison. I think George Harrison was there. I think Eric Clapton was there. Mama Cass.
Mama Cass.
Oh, so many people, all just singing and playing, and it was amazing. And I've always wished that the bloody recording equipment was under the stage rather than on it.